So, what are we doing today? What the? All 12 verb to all 12 verb to. Okay, look, if we're gonna do an all 12 verb tenses review, let me tell you, this is not gonna be taking all day, all right? I mean, we're just gonna run through this, and you just have to keep up. But I guess I can start off with a few important things. Obviously, you need to know what regular and irregular verbs are. Those are, defined in the simple past tense, but you know what? I'm not doing all of this. If you don't know what the regular and irregular verbs are, look at our previous videos, okay? If you don't know how to use any of these verb tenses, look at our previous videos. We've gone through all of these. Today, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to give the examples. I'm just going to demonstrate for you the patterns. And I'm going to do it simply. I'm going to start with two words. Subject, verb. And it's not going to change. I'll show you one regular, I'll go through all 12, and then I'll show you an irregular, and I'll go through all 12. But we're not getting fancy. Of course, you do need to know subject-verb agreement. But you know what? If you don't know that, just go to our previous videos. I'm not taking all day. I'm not going to do this forever. All right, let's just begin, okay? So, simple verb tenses. Simple past, she studied. Simple present, she studies. Simple future, she will study. I guess it is kind of important to remember that there are two ways in which you can create any future tense. You can use the will or the be going to, and remember that when you do that, the be going to always needs a subject-verb agreement rule, which you can find out by looking at our previous videos. So those are the simple verb tenses. The progressive verb tenses, also often called the continuous verb tenses by me, which we make by simply using the be verb and then the main verb plus ing. So the progressive past, or the past progressive, she was studying. The present progressive, she is studying. The future progressive, she is going to be studying. The perfect tenses. Remember that the perfect tenses always begin with the verb to have, and that is the one that's going to change, unless it's that, be future tense. We'll get to that. But have plus the past participle. And this is why regular and irregular verbs are important. You need to know them. Simple past. Links below or to the side or in our lists. Just find the links if you don't know. Past perfect. She had studied. Present perfect. She has studied. Future perfect. She is going to have studied. Perfect progressive. Remember the order. Perfect progressive. All the rules apply. The perfect starts with have. The progressive uses be. Verb ing, but the be is always going to be the past participle because that's what follows have in the perfect construction. So you have been verb ing, and it's the have, or the first word in the construction, that's going to change. So, past, perfect, progressive. She had been studying. Present, perfect, progressive. She has been studying. Future, perfect, progressive. She will have been studying. Those are your regular verb constructions in all 12 tenses. We're going to go through the irregular much faster. So, simple past, students wrote. Simple present, students write. Simple future, students are going to write. Progressive, Students were writing. Present progressive. Students are writing. Future progressive. Students will be writing. Perfect past or past perfect. Students had written. Present progressive. Students have written. Future progressive. Students will have written. Past perfect progressive. Students had been writing. Present perfect progressive. Students have been writing. And the future perfect progressive for the irregular verb students write is students are going to have been writing. So what you have there are all the verb tenses in different constructions from 2 words to 7 words. That means this one has a 6-word verb construction. Remember that the progressive tenses, both the progressive and the perfect progressive, aren't used if the verb is stative, unless you follow some of these, descriptive things that we were talking about in that lesson. You can find it below. Or if the verb begins with a modal verb, then all of those rules in terms of subject-verb agreements, well, it's only the first word that is going to change according to the time. Now that we've reviewed, well, let's review. So I watched the video, and there was a mistake in something that I said. Can you find it? Watch the video again and see.
All 12 verb tenses review. Why is the simple past tense important? This tense defines whether or not a verb is regular or irregular. What is the subject-verb agreement rule? Singular noun equals singular verb plus s. Plural nouns equal plural verb, no s. What is the common pattern for the beginning of all future tenses? All future tenses begin with either will or be going to. When do we use the simple present tense? What does it not do? The simple present tense is used to talk about general ideas, habits, facts, etc. It does not talk about what is happening now. What is a common pattern for all progressive continuous verb tenses? All progressive verb tenses use the pattern be verbing. It must include the be verb before the main verb. When do we use the present progressive tense? The present progressive tense is used when we are talking about what is happening now. What is a common pattern for all perfect verb tenses? All perfect verb tenses use the pattern have plus past participle. When do we use the present perfect tense? The present perfect tense is used to talk about something that has been done before, but the exact time it happened is not important. What is a common pattern for all perfect progressive continuous verb tenses? All perfect progressive tenses use the pattern have plus been verbing. When do we use the present perfect progressive tense? We use it when we talk about an action that began in the past and continues into the present, or it began in the past and recently ended. When do we use the past and future perfect progressive tenses? We use it when we want to show a cause or an interruption to an action.